Why, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Star Wars headquarters. And the Mandalorian panel took place at Star Wars Celebration today. And we're going to go over all of the new details and photos that we got from the panel. But I do have to say that I'm fairly disappointed that we did not get a proper reveal trailer at Star Wars Celebration. I was really expecting a reveal trailer at Star Wars Celebration. I was kind of shocked that they didn't really show, any proper reveal trailer at the big Star Wars Celebration show of the year. But they did show some behind closed doors footage of The Mandalorian. And for people who were there at the event, they took to social media to describe what they saw. So we will be going over that. And again, we're going to go over all of these details on The Mandalorian. And we're going to go over these new images that you see here, such as this one right here where you see the Mandalorian in battle. We also will take a look at Carl Weathers' character, Grief, Gina Carano's character, Cara, and even behind the scenes footage of the Mando ship, the Razor Crest. So we got to see that, which looks really cool. And we've got some details on how they actually filmed that. And they're using the old school techniques with the green screen to film the Razor Crest, which is really cool. So we're going to go over all these details in this video, but let's start with our main hero, the Mandalorian. So we're going to talk about the Mandalorian, and they confirmed on the panel, during the panel, that the Mandalorian is described as a character we've never met before, who is a gunfighter, a bounty hunter, and a citizen of the underworld in the outer reaches of the galaxy. And during the panel, they also revealed that he has questionable moral character that is in line with some of the best westerns out there. And Pedro Pascal, who of course betrays the Mandalorian, revealed that he drew a lot of inspiration for the Mandalorian from Clint Eastwood. So I can't wait to see Pedro's performance in this series. I'm a huge fan of Narcos, so I cannot wait to see how he, portrays the Mandalorian, especially considering that he took some inspiration from the man, Clint Eastwood. So looking forward to that for sure. Now, let's talk about the story. So if you didn't know, the story takes place after Return of the Jedi and will show what it was like when the New Republic took over, as well as how the chaos is beginning to take over the galaxy as a result, of what has happened after Episode 6. Now, it will introduce new planets, new races and species, and even new starships like this Razor Crest that we're talking about earlier. And again, this ship looks really cool. I'm super excited to see this ship in action. And again, we got to see some of the behind-the-scenes footage of the Razor Crest. And what's interesting is that they actually built a real model of the ship and filmed it on a green screen, just like the original film. So that's really cool that they're harking back to the original old school methods of filming this. And they also stated they wanted to get back to the imagery of George Lucas on the scale of where each world feels different, and really capture that imagery of what Star Wars is and what it means to fans. So like a true Star Wars story. Now, they also want to bring everything together. Now, this is cool. They want to bring elements from the original trilogy, from the prequel trilogy, and even pull stuff from Legends and the EU as well. So super excited to see what they bring back from the EU. They really haven't revealed what they were referring to on that, but leave your predictions in the comments. What do you want to see from the EU? What do you think they're going to bring back? Let me know in the comments. Now, also, we're going to talk more about the story. So let's get back on the story. So the Mandalorian will be hunting down jobs and trying to make as much money as possible, which is not surprising, of course. And he will eventually run into Carl Weathers' character, Grief. So Grief is a guy who during this time is running a group of bounty hunters and is the head of this guild of bounty hunters. And yes, you guessed it, the Mandalorian is the perfect man for the job. So that's really cool, and I can't wait to see what kind of trouble these guys get themselves into during this series. Now we're going to talk about Gina's character as well. So Gina plays a character that is an ex-rebel shock trooper who goes by the name of Cara Dune. Now we got to see a brand new image of her, which you're seeing right now, and she is described as a bit of a loner and someone who is having trouble reintegrating into society. So, it sounds like she's going to be a troublemaker possibly in this series. And my guess is there's going to be some disagreements between her and everyone around her, of course, because again, she's having trouble reintegrating into society. She's probably not a people person. And that's what my guess is from that description. Now, they also did show some behind the scenes footage at the panel that was not shown during the live stream. It was only shown to the audience, which was weird to me. I was really kind of taken back by that because I was sitting there watching and I was like, man, I really do wish that they would have shown it during the live stream so that everyone, at home could watch it with the audience. But regardless, we got the details because a lot of fans took to social media to describe what they saw in this behind the scene footage. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to start with CNET. So CNET described the footage, and they said they caught a glimpse of bounty hunters for LOM and IG-88 previously seen on Vader's Super Star Destroyer in The Empire Strikes Back. So CNET confirmed that those two bounty hunters are indeed in the series. Now, AV Club also confirmed this and said IG-88 was in the trailer, which made the crowd go nuts. He wasn't the only throwback creature, though, as a Jawa Sandcrawler, a Dewback Scout Troopers, and Return of the Jedi era speeder bikes all made appearances in the trailer. So that sounds really cool. Now, it's also been confirmed by many fans that were present at the panel that yes, the Mandalorian will be riding a creature that looks very similar to a Dewback creature. So, we predicted that he would be riding some sort of creature. And according to the fans that were there at the panel, he was definitely riding a creature in the behind the scenes closed door footage. It's too bad we didn't actually get to see it. So hopefully we get to see that soon. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, because you don't want to miss that. We will be doing a lot more news on The Mandalorian as soon as we find out any more details or see any official trailers or footage like that. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, there were even more details from AV Club as well. So they described the first scene they saw in the behind the scenes trailer. So I'm going to read that off from avclub.com and see what they experienced when they were there at the panel. So they said, in the first scene, Mando meets with Greef at a run-down desert cantina, and Greef offers him a direct commission face-to-face that pays better than the rest of the bounties he's got available that day, but also requires great secrecy. After a walk through a Middle Eastern-style marketplace, we see Kowakian monkey lizards roasting on spits, which got a big laugh. The Mandalorian is escorted into a plain concrete room guarded by 4 stormtroopers in beat-up armor. Then the camera pans back to reveal Werner Herzog sitting behind a table, another character who Herzog refers to as Dr. Pershing comes into the room, and the Mandalorian points his blaster at the newcomer, leading to a brief standoff. So this scene, that was described by AV Club, it's sounding a lot like, what the panel described as the Mandalorian, looking for jobs, and it sounds like he's going to get into some trouble. Now, the AV Club goes on to explain the scene further and says the following. They said, then Herzog apologizes for his colleague's behavior and asks the Mandalorian to sit down and talk business. Turns out Herzog's character is a neo-imperialist gangster of some sort who wants to see the Empire restored across the galaxy. And as a part of this mission, he needs a bounty hunter to track down an anonymous 50-year-old target and return them, preferably alive. But proof of termination is also acceptable for a lower fee. The Mandalorian accepts this and, then goes on to say he accepts the bounty about which he has only a few scraps of encrypted information. In return, he'll be paid in billets of Beskar, the indestructible iron used to make his armor. So that's really interesting that he's making that kind of exchange. Now, it goes on to say, as the Mandalorian leaves the room, Herzog says, "It is good to restore the natural order of things after a period of such disarray." Don't you agree? So it's going to be really interesting to see where the story takes them all and where it all leads. And again, I'm assuming they're all going to get into a lot of trouble during the course of this series. And, Jon Favreau has described it as being action-packed, and I cannot wait to see it. Plus, the Mandalorian, he just looks awesome. He just looks cool. So, that's another thing that the Mandalorian certainly has going for it. The lead character, just looks cool. And you can tell that Pedro Pascal, who's playing the Mandalorian, is thrilled to be playing this part. And, when I saw him on stage, he just acted like a kid lit up, and he acted so excited to be playing this part. And he is a true Star Wars fan. So is Jon Favreau, of course, and then Dave Filoni, of course. So it's really exciting to see that these true Star Wars fans are involved in this production. So that's really, really cool. Now, here's some other interesting details we learned about The Mandalorian. So it was the first time a Star Wars film or series was filmed in Los Angeles, which is really cool. And they also used technology from Jungle Book and The Lion King, and even used video game technology like virtual reality for planning scenes. So they're putting every type of technology into the series, so I'm expecting it to be on par with the quality of a full-blown movie with insane graphics and special effects that you'd expect in such a full-blown production like this. So that's really cool to hear. Now, also, they even revealed this. They used the actual 501st for some of the scenes in The Mandalorian, which is really cool. And Dave Filoni said that the 501st truly acted like stormtroopers and knew exactly what to do when on set. So that is really cool that they have the actual 501st involved in this series. So I was thrilled to hear that. Super exciting because, as you know, the 501st has done so much for the Star Wars community, and it's really exciting to see that, they're paying tribute to the 501st like that. So super excited to see them in it. But let me know, what do you think of all of this? Are you excited for The Mandalorian? Even though we did not get a trailer today, I am super, super pumped for The Mandalorian. This is the series that I'm looking forward to the most this year. This is it for me. Like, I'm super excited for this, so I cannot wait. And as soon as we get our first teaser trailer, I'll let you know. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. But I'll see you next time, and may the Force be with you always.